Hey, everybody, welcome to the Synapse Philosophy Group. And we're jamming still in 1910, D.D. Palmer's The Chiropractors Adjuster. We're on page 131. Alan and I have just gone through our each outlines, and I outlined mine almost as similarly as Alan did. And so we're going to skip around a little bit because there's quite a bit of minutia through here, which is interesting to read because it's a lot of the history of the battle. People wanted to change chiropractic, want to add the things to chiropractic, and he said no, it's better unsullied. But it's repeating a lot of articles, things posted, and he's quoting a lot. So we're going to skip around a bit, which will make it more easier to listen to, a lot better content, right, Alan? And Alan's going to be our reader tonight. I'm really happy because he's an excellent reader. And why don't we go ahead? Why don't we go ahead, Alan? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're at the top of 131, just for a couple of lines here, where he gives a definition. It says chiropractic is from two Greek words, hand, and it's in Greek, hand and done by hand, a hand practitioner, one who repairs, one who adjusts. The practitioner who practices the science of chiropractic is a chiropractor. The name of the science should not be spelled with a final E. That would make it chiropractis for those of you who are not following along in print. The art of adjusting is of a particular nature, one which has never been used before September 1895. In some respects, it has been modified. For instance, do we need to go through all that? No, okay. So I'm going to turn the page and go down on 132 to the third paragraph from the bottom for a line where he's going into an argument here with Carver and Still and Davis and about what is chiropractic versus osteopathy. And he says the philosophies of osteopathy and chiropractic are radically and entirely different. He also mentions neuropathy, which is applied in the treatment of all conditions wherein the nerve system is involved, and that's a quote from Davis. And he's arguing with them, and there's a whole discourse on 134 about different parts of neuropathy that Davis talks about. He's talking about homeopathic and phrenology and magnetism and migratory mental ideal and a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to just move along through that and jump over to 136. And about 3/4 of the way down the page under organotherapy, and he comes back and says, is it not time that we as an enlightened nation should lay aside all superstitions, notions, and correct the cause of disease? The movements devised and perfected by D.D. Palmer are unique, unlike any used by any other school. They are directed by a chiropractor who should make a specific move for a certain purpose with an aim in view. A chiropractor who comprehends the principles of this science will have no use for adjuncts. Just in proportion as he lacks knowledge and confidence, the two go together, he will use remedies, become a mixer. The more he mixes, the less use he has for chiropractic. That's space for some discussion.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for that, Alan.
I think that is like that last paragraph is like one of the most important things I've read and reminded myself of and read in a while. And I posted it up on a couple of web pages, Facebook pages this week, as a matter of fact.
Let's say what page number that is again, because we skipped around.
It's page 136, the very last paragraph on the page.
Yes. Okay. That's how important it is.
A picture of, and on the facing page is a picture of Harvey Lillard just for fun.
And that's where I've had this on my thing. I have it, marked, starred, and how important that is. What we should do is have that put on.
Highlighted.
Every chiropractor should get that on the diploma. At Life, what we got was BioFreeze, and we should get this in the diploma, have that on there.
Well, it's interesting that, and I don't see it up any longer, but early this morning, there's a page on the ICA webpage, Facebook page. they had posted the first 11 of the 33 principles, which I thought that's great. And then I read what they said about it, and it was talking about how we use it was healing allopathy, and I went and found the definition of allopathy from Merriam-Webster and wrote a comment and posted that and said allopathic care and a chiropractic is not chiropractic care, and that thing was gone.
Yeah, in
My
seconds. In
comment was gone
seconds.
within 30 minutes. And
Let me
I
ask.
was a member of the RA. I was an officer of the RA for the
One second.
ICA, and
Let
it
me ask
upset
Mario. Let me ask Mario if he has a question.
me.
Mario, did you have a question?
Yes, actually, yes, I have. Between the difference between osteopathy and chiropractic philosophy. I mean, they treat, of course, bones as simple, if I may say, but our principles is to focus on the spine. But what makes osteopathy different?
The easiest
We're
way
gonna
to answer that is I'll let Alan do it, but
we're
chiropractors
gonna
work with
come to
us.
that in a minute in the book, actually.
We're going to come to it in the book. And chiropractors work with the central nerve system, the neural system of life, and the innate intelligence within. That's the first part to realize. But we're going to get to very soon that exact question is going to be answered by Dee Palmer right here. Okay?
Yes.
So go ahead, Alan. Keep going now.
The simple answer is the simple answer is that osteopathy says they're affecting the blood system and circulation.
The
And
humeral
Didi comes
portion of the
back, which
body.
we'll read in a second, and says, so Didi comes back and says, hey, the nerve systems control that part. So that's not what we do. We're not looking at the circulation. We're looking at the nerves. That's the simple answer. So
It's it's
actually
on the
on
next
139,
139.
we're going to go, goes a long section here on the chiropractic is not osteopathy. And the first line is chiropractic is unlike any therapeutic method. In fact, it is not therapeutical. I'm going to skip down to where he actually says what I was just talking about. It says, it's the third paragraph on the page on 139, and he said, and Didi says, what disturbs the action of the vascular system? The science of chiropractic says the carrier of impulses, the nerve system, is modified in its structure, conformably modifying the impulsive force and the actions of functions. It will be observed that osteopathy is founded on the circulation of the blood, whereas chiropractic is founded upon the quality of nerve tissues and the ability to transmit functioning impulses. Instead of nerves depending on the arterial system for their quality of sensation, nutrition, and motion, it is a fact established by chiropractic that the arterial system depends on the nerve system for the incentive stimulus which the latter possesses.
Does that
Did you
answer
get
the
that, Mario?
question?
Does that help?
The osteopathy is the humeral portion or the fluids of the body. Chiropractic works with the central nerve system, which controls all that.
Yeah, completely understand.
Okay.
Yes.
So on page 140, he goes on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth paragraph down. It says, in osteopathy, pure blood is physiological. The result is health. Impure, bad, poison, stagnant, obstructed, diseased blood is pathological. In chiropractic, health depends upon proper performances of functions. Disease is the result of functions performed in an abnormal manner. Whether functions are physiological or pathological, performed depends upon the amount of force manifested at the peripheral endings of the nerves where functional impulses are received. Osteopathy treats the blood. Chiropractors do not treat the blood. do not treat any portion of the body or any of its ailments. The general treatment of osteopathy, they do have specific treatment. As at present, chiropractor almost invariably use general treatment. Well, this is the chiropractic world does not yet seem. This is a quote from somebody else here. I'm sorry.
Well, check out right off 141, the middle paragraph.
Yeah.
As a developer of chiropractic.
I, as the developer of chiropractic, right?
Yeah.
That's the third paragraph on 141 says, I, as the developer of chiropractic, have always maintained that a nerve is interfered with by pressure or other injury. Sooner or later, its expression becomes abnormal, manifesting conditions named disease. The vital force which controls all actions of ligaments, muscles, bones, skin, membranes, and arteries, also regulates the circulation and transudation of the bodily fluids. The vital force of innate, communicated through the nerve system, produces functional activity, regulates the force and amount of blood contracting and relaxing the muscular tissue of the vascular walls, produces by excitation the characteristic amount, quality of force, and observed in health and disease. Because of the supervision of the nerve system, I hold that the variation of functions is also coordinated with the amount of heat, local inflammation, and general fever. Hence, it necessarily follows that the body is functionated by nerves, not by blood, as has been taught by all schools of medicine, including that of osteopathy.
So that's a good section right there. And,
let me read one more piece from the next piece under the next paragraph, where he says, chiropractors do not treat diseases. They adjust, put to rights that which is creating disease. I discovered that all parts of the human body are functionated by and through nerves. If impulses are normally transmitted, their functions would not be augmented or decreased. Not increased or decreased, they'd be perfect, in other words. That's good stuff.
That is very good stuff. I skipped down to 142 to the last paragraph.
Where it says chiropractors consider?
Well, because, yes, a little bit, because it's just understanding an osteopathy and how much different it is. It states the source of energy, the vital forces which furnish life. Functional activity is the form of dark red fluid called blood. Chiropractors affirm that the primal source of energy, vital force, is innate, spirit, directed through the nervous system. The fundamental principles, as well as the philosophy of osteopathy and chiropractic, differ very much. So we don't look at the blood, we look at what controls the blood, the central nervous system. Big difference. All right. That's a lot of good stuff.
Says there is, it goes right back to that as well. He says therapeutics is a branch of medical science which considers the application of remedies as means of cure. Chiropractors, we do not use medicine and have no need for remedies. Therefore, chiropractic is not therapeutical, has no resemblance to any therapeutic system. Period. The end. Amen.
Period. Chiropractic is unto its own. I get over to 140. This is the thing, guys, because this book, it's a very difficult book to read as a novel, okay? Because he is going back and refuting what people say about chiropractic, and that's why it's called the Chiropractor's Adjuster, putting it back to true north. So we're skipping around a little bit because A, we have 1,000 pages to go, and B, it just makes more sense that way, okay? Reading it on your own, you will get a lot of information filling in the gaps. And but what do you think? I skip over to 145, those first two paragraphs I have outlined.
The allopath, yeah.
Yeah. And then the second, chiropractic looks at the bacteria as a scavenger.
Okay. You want me to go there?
Yeah, go ahead.
The allopath and osteopath, I have those two highlighted too, by the way. The allopath and osteopath agree on etiology and diagnosis. The only difference being that the latter tries to do with the hands what the former tries to do with drugs. These two systems contend that diphtheria is an enemy, a disturber of the peace, that it is caused by an invasion of bacteria, that there are good and bad bacteria, friends and foes. It is the business of the bacteriologist to devise ways and means whereby he can assist the friendly microbes to drive and or destroy the disease-provoking microorganisms. Chiropractors look upon bacteria as scavengers who live upon dead and decaying matter. Their existence is as much the natural result as is the mold found on decaying cheese. We understand that necrosed mucous membranes are the result of excessive heat, local inflammation. That deleterious substances act upon sensory nerves, causing them to be unduly excited, inflamed. If these affected nerves end in the throat, in a person of a certain age, we have conditions known as diphtheria. The chiropractor places the luxated vertebra by one move, which does not amount to a manipulation. The patient is usually relieved by one adjustment, wherein is there any resemblance between chiropractic and osteopathy?
Yeah. So he lays it out. He is repeating himself a little here, and it's awesome because we need to hear it and getting through the understanding of what we do. How do you feel about it, Mario?
Good. Good, actually learning a lot better than it. Also, it's a hard book to read.
It is hard.
Yeah,
because he uses old terminology too. Functionated, it's hard enough for you to understand. Sometimes your English may be hard enough to understand, let alone English from the early part of the 19th century, 20th century rather.
I mean, how often do you use deleterious in a sentence? I know Dave Sarnoff probably does all the time, but he's special. I love it.
Sorry, millennial.
Okay. So, what do you guys get from that? What does that mean to you in what we're reading, of where we're going and where we've been and serving our people?
I think it's so important that he repeats over and over again that there's no need for other things. That remedies are unnecessary. Well, that's not part of and that's not to say people shouldn't use them, but it's not part of chiropractic, and it muddies the water. It confuses people, and in my mind, chiropractors that are using a lot of the things are doing it partly because they think people want it, or they are so locked in on just having things be better, treating the symptom rather than treating the cause, that they're trying to do anything to make people feel better so they'll keep coming back.
That's the thing is, am I trying to just make you feel better, or I'm going to try and help you? And I had a woman just yesterday said, I'm really depressed. I'm clinically depressed my whole life. She said it like 5 times in a row, and I'm here to help you. Okay. You say it a couple, and then I mean, it was one of the most, I have to say, amazing Atlas adjustments I had all day. It was a beautiful adjustment. And if I say so myself, and she's like, oh, wow, that was great. Now, what about my foot? And I was like, I'm going to take your foot. I'm going to shove it in your mouth. But really, I said, listen, we just turn on the power of life in your body. Everything is going to change in your life. You just have to show up here. Your foot is going to get better. Just do what I tell you. I felt like just going, please. Anyway.
You go in, you got sometimes somebody like that, you go, so you came in complaining about depression and now you're worried about your foot. That's very interesting.
Yeah, you're better.
You're feeling better. Your head's feeling better already, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Not so depressed anymore. You forgot about your foot. All right, there you go.
I expect you today.
And when we're really caring for the people, it's not about how much time you spend with them. It's not about all these things, but they see the changes in their lives. And it's just an amazing thing to see this happen. And what Dee is giving us the confidence, really. He said, look, chiropractor, it's 100+ years later, you still have it, hasn't changed. The body's the same. The principles are the same. Go out and do it, right? So where are we? I skipped all the way to 147 from here, and I only outlined, I just did one line. So the manipulations of neuropathy are those of osteopathy. Chiropractors do not manipulate. They do not use the process for manipulating. They adjust. We use the spinous process and the transverse processes as levers to specifically adjust vertebra, not to manipulate them. That manipulation word gets in all the time. And it drives me crazy, I have to say. I just want to say, innate adjusting this weekend was awesome. The students were fantastic in Atlanta. I got to see a little snow, and it was an intense weekend. We had an intensive. We started off with, I call it an innate breath. I developed it out of from a holotropic breathing, and I've added quite a bit to it. And then we had our seminar. It was an intensive. Good for you. Look at all that snow.
Dang.
All that snow.
You had some snow up there, boy. You were in Jersey, right?
Snow here. Ah,
Start off in Jersey, right?
In Florida.
Yeah, ridiculous how much snow we had. And we're supposed to get hit again next week.
Mario, where are you?
Ecuador.
In Ecuador. Nice.
Yeah,
not snowing there.
In Ecuador.
No, haven't met snow. Never been in a place where it snows. So also, all I know it's warm weather.
Yep, you're right at the equator.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine was talking about Ecuador, and Ecuador you take dollars in Ecuador, right?
Yeah.
And they were saying that practice is good there. People love chiropractic in Ecuador.
Yes.
That's fantastic, man. I'm happy for you. How long
Thanks.
have you been in practice?
Also, this is my first year working.
Congratulations. And you went to Unive, is that right?
Whenever, yeah.
Unive. Ah, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think? Where are we going next from this on these books? And the next thing I get to is magnetism on page 149. And he goes into a little bit about magnetism, and he's quoting it. I put that in there. I put that so I just learn a little bit more about it. And then it gets a little bit, I have to say, I skipped quite a bit from here. Not skip, but it gets a little bit harder to read, I have to say. They talk about the New World Chiropractor. It's still osteopathy. There's a good picture of Dee on page 153, though. He's got a really good beard. Look kind of like Alan's got. Yeah, he got a pretty good Dee beard going, man. I like it. Magnetism. Then I skipped to 156. Got 2 pages stuck here. I'll just read this real quick. I am not opposed to any chiropractor, whether he be good or bad. The poorest can accomplish more good than a medical man with his bugs and dope. That's funny. Yet, I would much rather know that each chiropractor was proficient in all that pertains toward making him or her competent in everything that goes to make an intelligent, up-to-date chiropractor. But there are those who are not financially able to acquire this knowledge, and the others who do not care to know more than the bare rudiments. The discerning public will choose those whom they think are the most proficient. So that was just a little bit right there. Alan, do you have anything else after that?
No, I got to get ahead a little bit on this. There was actually one line actually back on 147 that I thought was interesting, where he talks at the very bottom of the page and says, tonicity is the condition of tone or normal tension. The abnormal is known as tension or atony, uh, a stretched or strained condition. This prerequisite to disease is due to pressure, poison, or lack of control of the emotions and acts of the patient, a morbid self-consciousness. To free the nerves of these conditions returns the nerves to a normal tonicity, normal function, health.
Chemical, physical, or emotional stress, right? That's what he just said, causing these malfunctions. And then he doesn't mention subluxation much yet, if you realize that. We haven't talked about it tremendously. He describes this subluxation more than talks about it, and he says luxation most of the time. And I found that interesting since he pointed out, because later on he does talk about his research that he had done through all the medical books and all those things, looking for the word subluxation. And he found luxation and I think adding sub. We're going to get to those things later on. But that's what I have for tonight. And, you know, it goes on. I've got quite a bit more after this, but this is a big skip here.
Yeah.
Just some fine points of Didi. All right. I wish it was more exciting right now, but this is where we are in the reading, you know. Dave looks like he's ready for the end of the evening right there. All right. I wish I was where you are. I'm working in both offices now, Dave. Okay. My associate quit. You just have to come down and get out of the snow for a while.
The second office you opened, the associate quit.
The main one. So I could blow up this second office. And
Why?
Now I'm doing both. Huh?
Why'd they quit?
Everyone has to follow their bliss. It's not up to me. I'm not judging anymore. I just got to do what I have to do and serve the masses. The masses, people deserve chiropractic. That's what Didi is saying. People deserve it. And we got to go out and give it to them and tell them about it because they have no idea. And we got our love buttons, if you can see it. With our website,
Nice.
I love those. But people deserve chiropractic. We got to tell them about it. If we don't tell them about it, we've done them a disservice in this life. Period. All right? Gents, that's what I have. All right? I hope
That's
you have
good.
a beautiful evening, Mario. Now you have the code. Write it down. Put it on a piece of paper, a tape onto your computer, so you know the code for next week. Okay? And we're in the same time every week.
Thanks. Yeah.
If you come in through the
It's
Zoom
so-
app,
so it's
if you come in
difficult.
the Zoom app, it'll save it for you.
Say it again, Mario.
Yes.
You said something.
If you-
I missed it.
If you have the Zoom app on your computer, you can it'll save the link for you.
Okay, I'll do it. Yeah.
You got it.
Yo
Well-
muevo los huesos, pero y Dios hace la sanidad, no yo.
Okay,
Your
guys.
Spanish is good.
His Spanish is good. All that, you know, down there in the where are you down? Lower southern New Jersey.
Take it easy with your geographical insinuations. I just
Hey.
practice Spanish. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say
Take it easy.
All right. Buenas noches, everybody. I'll see you
Buenas
next week,
noches.
okay?
Vaya
Hasta
con
la
Dios.
siguiente semana.